All right, welcome back to part two. Okay, this is part two. At this time, I need you to go ahead and we just worked on chart 5 on that front. Go to the back of that one for part 6. Okay, we're looking at part 6 now. And I'm looking at number 1. Okay, we went through this a little bit fast yesterday just because I was running out of time. So I'm going to slow it down just a little bit just today. Okay, and make sure we understand it. Okay, so if you remember the eighth notes, okay, eighth notes are usually grouped in 2. They get half a beat. So that means that since they get half a beat, it takes 2 eighth notes to actually make up 1 beat, because 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. Okay, so it actually takes up 2 eighth notes to make up 1 beat. So we have to have a count sequence that can feel, because we can't just give both eighth notes a number. Okay, because in a 4/4 time, in 4/4 time, if we gave each number a number, it'd only take 4 eighth notes to make up. All we'd have is 4 eighth notes. But since the eighth notes only get half a beat, that means every other gets the number. Okay. So if we look at this first measure. Okay. Obviously, we got 4/4 time. We got 4 quarter notes. We get those 4 quarter notes. We get a big 1, a big 2, a big 3, a big 4. Okay. Now the eighth notes in the grouping, the first eighth note in each group will always get the number. Okay. Remember that the first eighth note in each group will always get the number. So let's just go ahead and put our numbers down, okay? A big 1 on that first eighth note, a big 2 on that third eighth note, a big 3 on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a big 3 on the fifth eighth note, and a big 4 on the seventh eighth note, okay? Now notice that every other eighth note doesn't have anything with it, okay? Now, since the first eighth note in each group gets the number, that means the second eighth note each group gets the and count, because when we count eighth notes, we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now we got to give the second grouping, the second eighth note in a group the and count. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So if I was to click and count this, okay, yes, I know I only did the first 2 measures of that number, of that first one. That's just because the last 2 measures are the same, okay? So if I was to click and count this, okay, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you notice how the eighth notes were faster, okay? By now you should have noticed that the eighth notes were faster, okay? You as drummers, you play a lot of eighth notes, okay? So just watch it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. If I was to put I can put accents on the downbeats. Okay. So this time I'm going to put accents on the downbeats. Okay. Just to show you that I'm still clicking quarter notes in there, just adding in an eighth note. Okay. So watch me. This time I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to add accents on the downbeats. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You're going to notice that the beats of the quarter notes and the beat of those accented notes don't change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? That is just to show that the eighth notes don't, the tempo of the eighth notes don't ever change. It's just you're playing, instead of playing 1 note in 1 beat, you're playing 2 notes. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and. It's just 2 notes in 1 beat, okay? With that being said, I want you to go ahead and try, okay? Let's try number 8. All right, number 8. Try number 8 by yourself. Actually, no, scratch that. Let's try number... Yeah, let's just try number 8. Let's just try number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Okay, I'm pausing so I can write. All right, I'm back. Okay. Hopefully by now you've done it. Okay, I only wrote 2 measures just because it's the same measure. It's the same thing throughout the whole thing. Okay. So we're in 4/4 time, so that means there's at least 4 beats in every measure. So let's just do the 4 beats. Let's just do the downbeats. Okay. The first downbeat would be on the first quarter note. Okay. There's a quarter note in here, so the first quarter note always gets the downbeat, or the first note usually always gets the downbeat. Okay. Beat 2. Okay. The beat 2 is actually going to be on that first eighth note, okay? Remember, in a grouping of eighth notes, the first eighth note always gets the downbeat, all right? So where's beat 3, okay? Beat 3 is actually going to be on that that second quarter note in that measure, okay? Beat 3 is actually going to be on that second quarter note. It won't be on that second eighth note, because remember, the eighth notes get the and count. So we can't, just remember, the second eighth note in a grouping gets the and count, not the downbeat, okay? And then beat 4 is obviously going to be on that first eighth note of the last set, okay? Now, we got 2 notes, okay, in each set that don't have a count on them, okay? Those are typically going to, if they're eighth notes, they're going to be our and counts, okay? Obviously. So we got 2 and, 4 and, 2 and, 4 and. All right. Oops, dropped my pencil or my marker, okay? So pretty easy peasy, right? So we got 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so watch me click that first, okay? 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. All right, notice that I only did 2 measures, okay, for 1, okay? Now do notice that I did not go on to 1. I didn't add an extra click, because as drummers, y'all like to finish, y'all don't like to have 4 and be eighth notes. That's, you always want to do 4 and 1. No, okay, this piece actually, that line actually ends on 2 eighth notes on the 4 and, so make sure you're ending it on 4 and, okay? So watch me click it again. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, there's no 1, no 1, okay? This time you can click it with me, okay? This time, click it with me, right? 5, 6, click with me. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay? This time I'll do it, and I'll make sure to add make sure every downbeat is accent. Okay, if you want to do it with me, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, I kind of messed up in there a little bit. Oh well. Okay, but you understand, okay? You understand a little bit better. That's all I need to do. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, let's do number 10. Okay, we're gonna do number 10. One more. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video. All right, hopefully by now you have it finished. Okay, pretty easy, I think. If you ever get lost in this, I would always start with the downbeats, just like I did. Okay, just like I did on that previous one. Okay, so beat 1 is going to be that first eighth note, okay, because we got beat 1, then we got and. So 1 and then we got a quarter note, which gets beats 2, then we got another quarter note, which gets beat 3, and then we got 2 more eighth notes, which get beat, the first one will get beat 4, and the second one will get the and count. Okay, so look at that again. 1 and, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Okay. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Okay. Do notice that the 4 and the 1 and, okay, the 4 and the 1 and are both eighth notes, so that's going to go continuous. 4 and 1 and, 4 and 1 and. Okay. So watch me click this real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Okay. And do notice it ends on 4 and, not 4 and 1. Okay? So do it with me this time. Okay? You're going to do it with me. Stick, click, or count, tap, whatever you're doing. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Pretty easy, I think. Pretty easy, okay? All right. Enough of that today. Remember, these charts are for you to review stuff, okay? Review. Any of it all, okay? Let's go ahead and get out lesson 6A, okay? This is going to go a continuation of eighth notes, okay? So go ahead and get out 6A, okay? It's called lesson 6A, mixed eighth note rhythm, okay? It's going to have quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, all the goody stuff, okay? And on that one, let's go ahead, okay? Once you get it out there, go ahead and find. Let's go ahead and do line number 11. Okay, that's the first line. Okay, I'm gonna write it on the board real quick, and go ahead. I want you to once you find it, go ahead and try line 11 by yourself and see what you do. Okay. All right. Hopefully by now you've finished it. Okay. That means if you're watching this again, it means you're finished. Okay. So pretty easy, I think, for opening. Okay. We got to make sure it's in 4/4 time, so we know that we're only going to go to 4, okay? And it just has a mixture of eighth notes, quarter notes, and half notes, and a whole note, okay? So I think this is going to be pretty easy. So let's see how you did. All right, so the first measure, we got 2 quarter notes, so that gets beat 1, beat 2, okay? Then we have 4 eighth notes, okay? And they're grouped like this, okay? Sometimes you'll see eighth notes grouped like that, sometimes you won't, okay? So we got 3 and, okay, for the first 2, and then 4 and for the last 2, okay? So that first measure is 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. All right, that second measure, you got a quarter note on beat 1, so we got beat 1. And then we got 2 eighth notes, so that means 2 and, 3 on that third quarter note, okay? And then we're going to do a little 4 with a dash in it, okay? Make sure you have that dash in it because we want to represent silent, okay? All right, so the next measure, we start off with a half note. That means we get a big 1, a little 2, because remember, a half note gets 2 beats. Then a little 3 with a dash because we get a rest, and then 4 and. And then the last one, it's got a whole note, which whole notes get how many beats? 4, okay? So it gets a big 1, a little 2, a little 3, a little 4, okay? So this one's not too hard, I don't think, all right? I don't really think that this is too hard for y'all, okay? So let's just go ahead and see how we do. Stick, click, and count, okay? The whole thing, okay? Let's just see how you do. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you messed up, I would advise like rewinding the video a little bit, okay, and try to do it again. We're going to do it one more time, okay, just to be safe in case you did get it right, okay. But if you didn't, okay, this is another chance for you to get it right. If you made a mistake, fix it this time, okay. So let's count it again. I think the biggest issue is probably this rest right here going into the half note. That rest on beat 4 going into that half note might be the biggest trouble, okay. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And do notice that I'm doing my stick misses for the rest, okay? Good. All right, let's go ahead and try, on a hard one. Let's just go number 13, okay? Number 13. Number 13. Number 13. I'm going to pause. All right. So hopefully by now that you're rewatching this, you have it ready, okay? So let's go ahead and get through this because I got a class coming here soon, okay? So we got beat 1, a big 1 on that first quarter note, okay? Then we got a small 2 with a dash, and then we got 3 and 4. Okay, so we got 1, rest, 3, and 4. Okay, then we have a small 1, 2, 3, 4 for that whole rest. Okay, that second measure is a whole rest, so that means it gets a small 1, 2, 3, 4. That third measure, we got a quarter note on beat 1, then we got eighth notes on beat 2, and then a quarter note on beat 3, and a rest on beat 4. And then on the last measure, we got a rest on beat 1, we got a half note on beat 2, so that means it's going to get a big 2, little 3. And then a quarter note on beat 4, okay? So this is going to be the last one we do for this lesson. Obviously, I didn't get 6 beats this time, okay? So there's going to be a part 3. So real quick, let's click and count this before my class comes, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you don't mess up on the 4 1. Okay, you got a rest. You have rest that comes on beat 4 and a rest that comes on beat 1 in that last 2 measures. Okay, so make sure not to mess that up. So let's do that real quick again. Okay, and don't forget about our lonely little whole rest out here. Okay, one more time, real quick. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I almost hit on beat 1. I almost hit on that beat 1 rest. All right. So at this time, you need to make sure you go find part 3, and we'll finish up this lesson.